students. So today we are going to start with this topic of democratic rights. So in the previous two chapters we looked at two major elements of a democratic government. In the chapter third, we see how a democratic government has to be periodically elected by the people in a free and fair manner. In chapter 4, we learned that the democracy must be based on institutions that follow certain rules and procedures, and these elements are necessary but not sufficient for a democracy. So elections and institutions need to be combined with a third element, that is enjoyment of rights, to make a government democratic. So in the last 2 to 3 chapters we have discussed about democracy, how democracy government has been is formed by periodically electing election in a free and fair manner. And also we have discussed how democracy is based on institutions that follow certain rules and procedures. But apart from this, for a government to function completely democratically, one need to combine the third element, that is the enjoyment of the rights. Even the most popularly elected rulers working through an established institutional process must learn not to cross some limits. Citizens' democratic rights set those limits in a democracy. This is what we take up in this final chapter of the book. We begin by discussing some real-life cases to imagine what it means to live without rights. This leads to the discussion on what we mean by rights and why do we need them. As in the previous chapter, the general discussion is followed by a focus on India. We discuss one by one the fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution. Then we turn on how these rights can be used by ordinary citizens, who will protect and enforce them, and finally we'll take a look at how the scope of rights have been expanding. So in this chapter we'll discuss about rights, how the combination of rights and the principles of democracy makes complete democratic government. And even the most established democratic institutions sometimes fails to pay respect to citizens' rights. And this is where it is very important to understand how we can enforce, we can make sure that individual citizens' rights are not hampered, and we'll also study about who protects them, who enforces them, and how the scope of the rights has been expanding. So in the next class we'll start with the topic life without rights.